Good afternoon. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Decibel Dialogue. Today, we are going to talk about an upcoming film festival we're all very excited about this weekend, and it fits perfectly into our focus on disability and employment this month. So we want to welcome William Greer, who is really the founder of Cinema Touching Disability Film Festival. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's this weekend.
This weekend.
We're going to find out all about it, but we want to first introduce Mimi Howe and Carol Gilson, who are going to be models in kind of a partnering fashion show that's part of the festival. So
Yes.
Welcome to all three of you. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
First, William, tell us how this idea for a film festival dealing with disability-related issues came about and what people should expect.
I was volunteering at the Coalition of Texans with Disabilities, a disability advocacy organization, and I saw that as a nonprofit, it, like all nonprofits, needed funds, and there was also a question of awareness about disability. So I said, let's start a disability film festival. We'll raise some money and some awareness. And it's become incredibly big, even bigger than I was expecting. So it's grown and it'll keep growing.
And how long have you been doing this?
Since 2004.
Since 2004, wow. So what can people expect this year? Because I want to talk about the addition of the disability fashion and disability clothing lines that you've added in.
Every year we have a short disability film competition. So people will get to see the winners of our short disability film competition. We will be showing, I believe it's the non-documentary on Friday night and documentary films on Saturday night, and you get to see just about everything. And all disabilities, all interests, there's no way I could describe it all. Just come and you will learn something.
Okay.
The feature film on Friday night is Dark Light, The Art of Blind Photography. It's a documentary about a few blind photographers. And we're showing some of the best of the short film competition from the past years. And then Saturday night, we're having the Disability Fashion Show. And we're also showing little clips of some films about Runway of Dreams, which makes adaptive clothing that can be bought off the rack. A documentary about how the adaptive fashion we're showing on Saturday was created. And I'll talk about this later on, but we're also going to have a panel about adaptive fashion on
wonderful.
Sunday.
So Mimi and Carol, you were recruited as models for this focus on adaptive fashion. Are there frustrations living with a disability in just dealing with fashion trends and getting dressed and all of that? And were you aware of these adaptive fashions before you found out about the festival and the fashion part of it?
Not really. It's a good idea. I've always, had problems with, wearing clothing. I have braces and leg braces all the way up to my thigh. So wearing pants or either, tight pants or even scrubs, it's so hard to get one leg, one pant leg on and then the other one too. And it just takes so much time that I've actually kind of quit wearing pants. And even in the winter, my legs get really cold, and I wish I could wear pants. So I just primarily wear dresses. So having pants and other accessories would really greatly help me out.
Of course, spend you a lot less time getting dressed and undressed.
True. And pants that are fashionable, not just functional.
Yeah.
So that's also hard to have something that looks good and be comfortable.
And Carol, talk about your situation and the frustrations that you face when it comes to fashion.
Well, I have a lot of frustrations. Like I have difficulty with zippers and all these things that probably would have been easier for the designers. But my main struggle is with shoes.
Mm-hmm. And you have rheumatoid arthritis?
My diagnosis is rheumatoid arthritis, and I was diagnosed when I was 25, and before my diagnosis, shoes were my thing. I would go on vacation and I would have to buy a new pair of shoes. Like, that would always be my souvenir. And I had so many shoes. And I was part of a performance art group of people with disabilities. And something that I did was this performance where I gave away all my shoes.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know.
A lot of women are going, no!
Like Cinderella. I would have people come up and try on the shoes, and if they fit, they got to have a new life with a new person. So lots of shoes were given away.
You turned this into an art form.
Yeah, I
That's
do a lot of
lovely.
art, and that's the way that I express myself and deal with issues. But I wear an ankle fit orthotic.
You can bring
and
it up if
I'm
you
just
want.
going to show it to you.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like. And I wear orthopedic shoes. This is actually a diabetic shoe to fit this. And it's just frustrating because most of the shoes aren't something that I consider fashionable or something that I would normally want to wear, but it's more about function. And then this itself isn't that beautiful to look at. I get compliments all the time, though, because people think they're boots. And then when I tell them what they are and how much they cost, one of these is $2,500. Wow. But I can't get a shoe that looks nice and feels nice and that I can walk in. So it's been really interesting going through the process of having a shoe cover or something to make it more fun and fashionable.
So what do you think are some of the misconceptions, William, you would like to people to understand and perhaps shatter some of those myths through the work of this film festival and also the adaptive clothing?
Well,
it's a big question, I know.
it's hard to answer that question immediately, but the simple answer is that people with disabilities are people. And we should be seen as people, not as the disability. And that disability does not define the person. And you see people with disabilities doing all sorts of things that you might not expect one way or another. There was a short film in our competition years ago called Beneath the Surface about a quadruple amputee who goes shark diving. And his first time shark diving, he got 3 feet away from a hammerhead shark. Now, I wouldn't want to do that, but this is someone who's willing to do this. It wasn't his passion. He'd never been scuba diving before. He saw it and he said, I'd like to give this a try. And there's always different sort of trends that show up. This year, the trend seems to be, the best way to talk about it is sort of girl power. It's about women with disabilities asserting their independence one way or another. There's one about a girl who's a drummer and she's deaf, but her school band leader doesn't want her to try out for the band because she thinks that that's not good enough for her, and her father thinks it will damage her hearing even more, but she defies them and goes out for it anyway. There's one about a high school girl who goes to a summer camp and some of her experiences there. There's one about a blind woman, and she's actually involved with someone who doesn't like her guide dog. So there's all sorts, and there's many more that fall into that line of, like I say, we're seeing women with independence, women who have disabilities asserting their independence this year.
And you yourself are a marathon runner.
Yes, when I'm feeling crazy enough. Ultra marathon runner now. So
that means farther than the 26 miles?
I've run 17 full marathons, 4 30-mile marathons, and 2 50-mile marathons. And I've picked out my first 100-mile marathon I want to try.
And tell everyone who your sighted guide was for your Boston Marathon, because we are a part of public media. We have to give a plug here.
The first time I did the Boston Marathon in 2013, Peter Sagal was my sighted guide. Peter Sagal, who does Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR.
Yeah, cool.
And we finished roughly 5 minutes before the first bomb went off.
Oh, wow.
I said we would have finished faster, but he had me laughing so hard that it cost me 10 minutes worth of time.
So, what are you two hoping that people come away with after hearing more about adaptive clothing and seeing some of the modeling that you'll both be doing and demonstrating?
Well, I hope that, I mean, I have this phrase that I like to use sometimes because people see me, I do a lot of things. I do hot yoga, I do Bikram yoga. I'm a professional, you know, all these things. And people often tell me that I'm inspirational to them, so I'm their gimpspiration.
This is another one of the misconceptions. I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah, but I hope that people understand that there is so much more than just what happens, what people see on the surface. Like, there's hours and hours, millions of hours, it seems, spent shopping for shoes and never being able to find a pair. You know, usually it's, I need a shoe to match my outfit, not a shoe that works with this device and matches my outfit. You know, I mean, I hope that there's some learning that goes along, and then just appreciating the ability to just walk into a store and buy a friggin' shoe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
What a luxury.
that would be fine if that's what people take away. And what I would really love is for someone who's creative and crafty to be inspired enough to start doing adaptive fashion and creating more adaptive fashion and thinking about shoes and function and fashion.
Because people with disabilities are the largest minority
Yes.
in the country, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Mimi, your turn. What would you like for people to come away with after seeing more about adaptive clothing and just hearing everyone's story?
Well, fashion is one thing. It's about being confident in yourself, and if you can like be comfortable in what you're wearing, and you know, and you love yourself no matter, you know, if you are disabled, able, whatever, and just being aware that we're human beings. We're, you know, with a disability, like William said, we're good and bad, and you know, we're cranky, we're sweet, you know, we're all kinds of
things.
all, you know. But fashion actually kind of everybody, you know, wears clothing, right? And people can relate to things not fitting and having a hard time finding something, you know, whatever their size or whatever their disability. So to be inclusive and to, you know, it matters that we're included in any industry, really, be it fashion or professional or medical. So, yeah. And when, you know, I every time you know, they see my crutches, they're like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" Or, you know, and then they actually see my outfit first, and then they look at the crutches. I'm like, "Oh, it's a long story." Yeah. So I would just move on. So you know, that's what I want people to see Saturday. That, you know, fashion is very important to the community, right?
Well, hearing you talk, I mean, fashion is how we express ourselves.
Exactly.
What we put on is how we present ourselves to the world. And often we're limited in how we do that by whatever we have going on physically.
Right. It could be commonality too on fashion, or you can express your difference. You know, like a bright color shirt or
It sounds
black.
like she had some great shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I want you, William, to tell us more about how people can attend the discussion about adaptive clothing, how they can get tickets to the film festival this weekend, if there are still tickets available, because I know a lot of people watching will I'm intrigued. I want to know more. I want to see more and learn more about all this. And I love good films.
Well, you can go to our website and purchase tickets. Tickets are selling out for Saturday, so go quickly.
Okay. And how does it work? How much does it cost?
It's $10 a ticket, and the ticket is redeemable. It's a food voucher. So we're holding this at the Alamo Draft House. So
In which Alamo?
the Village Draft House.
The Village Draft House, okay.
So $10 reserves your seat, and you can redeem it for anything from the menu.
That's a deal.
That's a really good deal. I will spend more than $10.
Yes,
on food.
I probably will too. Yeah.
And you can learn more about it at our website. It's ctdfilmfest.org is a shorthand for it.
Okay, and we'll be putting a link to that in our comment section.
And there is also a fashion panel on Sunday after the festival.
Oh, on
People
Sunday as well. Okay.
So people can come out and speak with the models and the designers and learn more about that.
And will that be Sunday afternoon?
I think it starts at 11 o'clock, but information about it.
It is 11. We have Jennifer on your team over here.
11 to 1 at Art Spark.
11 to 1 at Art Spark. Okay.
And information about that and reservations can all be made online.
All right. Well, I'm going to thank all three of you.
Thank you for
Because we've
having
really
us.
tried to shed light on disabilities and employment and just that folks with disabilities are just like the rest of us. You know, in many ways we all have certain disabilities, right? So.
And the disability community is something that everyone can join.
Yeah, at any time.
We can all be advocates. We can all be allies.
Yes.
All right. William, Mimi, Carol, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your afternoon with us. And we appreciate all of you who tuned in this afternoon. And if you enjoyed the conversation, share it with a friend. And make the rest of your day a great one. Thanks so much.
Thanks.